listen. So, all right, okay. So the last time we left off, the party was
There you go.
on a very, very precarious and thin bridge that crosses a chasm, and above them was like hosts of bats and dire bats. While the party was investigating the tomb of one of these dragon knights, supposedly, that they're looking for. You know, there was also a dead cyclops at the entrance. You know, what else is going on? His sword did some weird stuff.
It did.
Yeah.
Got lightning.
Yeah, it got lightning-y. That's a word.
So much.
You gotta be quiet. You know, you're gonna.
I was just asking if they were I was just asking if those were dire bats.
I like how like it always all the dialogue always seems to start with Mike too, so he doesn't get a chance to warm up his voice.
It never does.
Starts with Mike.
Because there's awkward moments in everyone. Who's gonna talk? Who's gonna talk? Who's gonna talk? I'm like, well, I'm gonna talk.
I mean, now you have to start always.
I spy with my little goblin eyes. Are they dire bats?
I think I said they were.
Yeah.
It was more of a
I
generic
confirm with my
statement.
dire bats.
Well,
Come on, Alex. There's more to the conversation, you know. Come on, do your voice. You got this.
You made me laugh.
I'm rooting for you, bud.
Hey, come on, Trin.
Godric, yeah, those dire bats up there.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
I guess it
It's
is.
gonna be one of those nights. It's gonna be a far more whimsical session than I thought it was gonna be. It's fine.
It's all fun and games till people die.
That's fine. It just changes the direction of the
Speaking
bats
of
as well.
people dying,
Apparently.
I don't want to be anywhere near Godric right now. So I'm gonna try to quietly move across to the other side of the bridge we're on.
You're gonna
So-
cross the bridge?
Yeah.
The bridge spans a chasm that's probably about 60 feet or so, and you guys are only about 10 feet in,
Okay.
looking up at it. So yeah, make me stealth check.
All right. Guess what? I got to do that with advantage. Guess what? I only have 1d20. 18.
18, just an 18.
Just an 18.
That's it.
Yeah.
You suck.
I mean, I rolled an 18 on the die.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I roll 20s all damn day.
I'll try harder.
Yeah.
Roll
So-
better.
Yeah, that's good enough to start, like, you know, carefully walking your way across the bridge ahead of everybody else.
Mike's in timeout.
Mike's in timeout? Self-imposed timeout? Dude, no, don't take that away from me. Turn around so I can give you timeout properly.
Oh, sorry.
You're on timeout. Feel better.
Bitch, I'm trying to get the character, you son of a bitch!
Go sit in the corner.
I'm a big Goliath. I'm a big Goliath. I'm a big Goliath.
Lemon face.
I'm a little goblin. I'm a little goblin.
Lion face. Roar. All right. I don't know.
Alex,
Listen, why are you here? I don't understand. Like, how do you tolerate us?
I thought that was like an attack.
Yeah, Katarina. Like,
Why are you here?
Why do you
Get
keep
out!
showing up to this?
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, this is just one of those nights. All right. Yeah, so Otheon starts slowly. I mean, the bridge. So this basically the stone bridge is only about maybe 6 feet wide at its widest points, and it probably narrows to spaces that are probably closer to like 4.
All right. So it's not like precarious. You're right. I would not want to be caught up here with bats.
Yeah.
Godric is going to walk up to the bridge and kind of give it a little shake.
We're already on it.
Oh, we're already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 10 feet in when we notice the bats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Is this a land bridge or is this a rope bridge?
No, it's a land bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, shake. Oh!
And it like breaks.
This sounds like a challenge. Godric would like to shake the land bridge. I'm gonna try. Godric's gonna keep a little quieter, kind of hunch down over the ground and kind of make his way as quietly as he can to the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, we'll figure that out when you roll d20.
I know. 18.
18? A lot of
think-
18s coming in
I don't
today.
know if there's a modifier because I'm not ready to play D&D today.
He's got a disadvantage on all stealth checks because he's a heavy breather.
You know what? If this was real life, I'd say hell yeah.
Mouth breather. He's like,
No, 19. Sorry, stand corrected.
that's pretty sneaky. Nice. Still not a 20.
What is our lucky number of the night?
Oh, our lucky number of the night is mind your own business. I don't know. Let's say 3. It's 3 tonight.
Oh my god, that's low.
It's a number.
It's still a 5% chance. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
I like high numbers.
Weird, dude.
buy some weed.
You're weird.
All right.
Weird.
Shut the
Long as I'm also going to try and stealth across.
Mhm.
It's never felt creakier.
Yeah. 3.
Yo, Azig already rolling that natural 1.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, so he's a big fan of Locke.
Did you also roll an 18?
Yeah, I got a 16.
All right.
Still
Not bad.
Relatively high roll.
Just 15 on the die.
All right, I'm looking forward to the goblin's roll.
I softly
I am too.
Do you?
I softly walk across as I whistle, minding my own business. I can't whistle.
He can't. He actually can't. That's not a character thing.
Oh no!
Oh.
You did whistle. Why would you whistle?
All you hear is
The one time he's done that
Like-
works. Yeah.
I just see Trendy's like,
Yeah.
Shit.
I did it, guys!
So, can I say that I'm deceiving them into thinking that I'm stealthy?
what the fuck?
Because I got a 14.
You can grant yourself some bardic inspiration if you want to waste it.
I can't though. I can't. You can't grant.
Yeah, because you're a terrible bard enough.
No, you can't. Like you actually cannot grant yourself bardic inspiration.
You're already inspired.
Yeah, well,
Or no, because you're an artist, so you think that
I
all
do
of your art
have.
is crap.
I do have an inspiration that was awarded to me that I never used. Oh.
Which expires
that's
every
true.
session, right?
No, that was when
Starting
you
after this
awarded
one.
to
yeah,
me.
you award them, they last, right?
Yeah. And I rolled less. So
If I award them, they last
14.
forever.
yeah,
thought that's
you
what I clarified.
had awarded it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was from you.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I use it
He's
and I
real
rolled
fucking-
less. So it's
Yeah,
still
he's
14.
on one today.
Yeah, he's a little tismy at the moment. What'd you roll?
14.
A 14? All right.
I'm lit.
All right, the living shadow.
Next.
What is happening?
That looks like a disappointing.
What?
Plus 1, so 2.
So,
no.
2.
Great.
All right, this is
was our-
we're off to a great night,
What was
everybody.
our order again?
I went
I
first.
on me.
I went last.
Yeah, so she went last.
Oh no.
So everybody else has been walking on the bridge as she kind of just goes. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of stuff like this when it happens.
Oh no.
Oh, this is a great night. So, come on. Do it this way. So, as you are walking and kind of following behind everybody else, a strap on your pack, which normally you're like double check and tighten, kind of comes loose, and it comes off the pack, and rolling off of your pack are empty vials of potion glasses. And one strikes the ground in front of you, and another one hits it, and then just continues to tumble and just dinks its way all the way down. So before you have a brief moment where there's probably 3 more that are ready to just kind of come off the straps and go with it. You start scrambling to grab them one at a time and like pull it up. But this is a very quick and dexterous feat of which you are not capable of handling directly super well. And you kind of lose your footing momentarily, and you slip on some loose gravel, and you kind of fall backwards onto the ground. And as you start rolling off of the edge, making all this noise, all the rest of the bottles just kind of start falling down and open. And you can hear them splash into the water and just crack on the sides, bouncing their way down. Trin runs over and grabs kind of your little pack and pulls you back steady to make sure that you don't roll off the edge with all of it. And you're all like basically 15, 20 feet ahead of them in the center, and you look up and you can see some of the bats have kind of stirred and are starting to kind of fly around the room. but none of the dire bats seem to have noticed. But you do see one has kind of, you can make out like this really bright red eye. It's open like one of them, and it's kind of looking around the room. And it's just for a moment, kind of stares around the room, and then you see the pupil close, or the eyelid close, and it seems to go back to sleep.
Be very quiet.
I'll try that from now on.
I kind of like stand up, and I also like start like looking at her pack to like make sure everything that's left is like solid and strapped.
Okay.
Here, let me help you as I pull on your arm to help you up halfway because I'm little.
Yeah, I'll try to get back up quietly.
All right.
Let's keep going.
Godric's just going to shrug and keep going,
All right.
seeing that they're fine.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, one after another, you guys end up on the other side at the end of the bridge. The bats, seemingly none the wiser. Katarina's the last person to cross over, and she kind of just daintily and very carefully chooses her footing and kind of takes that final step. A little bit of a jump. Just a little bit of a hop. Enough to make you realize that she's really nervous about what just happened. You know, like, oh, I gotta get off this. No, this is no good. And on the other side, you're basically standing in front of another doorway. There's no door, but just another large opening in the wall.
I think it's important that we remember if we have to run that the bats are here, so if we have to make a dramatic escape, it's something to keep in mind.
Intelligent.
Let's take a look at what we got going on here, and I'll walk over to the door and just start like inspecting it for like traps.
Okay, yeah, make an investigation check.
Ooh! 13! My keen goblin eyes look over the door.
I think that's the exact
This is
movement.
really, really dramatic. Like, Trin just kind of goes over the door, and just everything is just exaggerated. He's just looking it over. Don't find anything. Nothing suspicious, nothing strange, nothing seems dangerous.
Oh, looks like there's nothing dangerous about this, baby. As I slap the door. Like, just like pat it, like, yeah, this is good.
You know you're not on the other side of the door from the bats yet, right?
I will.
Just saying.
I will
Yes.
inspect the door for anything magical, like a lock or anything like that, or inscription.
Is it
Well,
normal
what are you doing? It's
for
good.
these doors to be trapped or something?
We've had some problems in the past, and, well, we're being quiet about it.
Look, I said the door was good. Let's just open it.
Okay,
Trust me as I open the door.
I trust it.
I wanted him to I want it so bad. I've never
Tempting
wished
fate.
such ill will on a player before in my life.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
Yeah. Most definitely wish ill will on another player before. Great ill will.
Tremendous,
I have.
even.
For sure.
I've heard stories.
They're all true.
Legendary stories.
So, door, being fantastically old and probably having not been touched for a really long time, as you kind of pull on it to get it to come towards you, it just shudders. As the loose dirt and soil is kind of built up at the bottom,
Okay.
and you start pulling on it, and then it just creaks loud in the room.
And does the creak just come from the door, or is the hinges jacked up?
Oh, it's just coming from the door.
Okay.
Right? It's like basically the wood is more or less just yawning at this point. And as you pull on it, again, you're having to basically one yank at a time pull the buildup of soil and dust from out in front of the door to get it clear enough to go through. So each one is a resounding bam.
As I watch
That just kind of
the goblin
reverberates
struggle with
through.
the door, I just keep looking back and forth from Trin to Godric.
I walk up to the door if he's still yanking on it. Get it over with. And I try and pull the door with one mighty yank.
Awesome.
I like how all of our solutions are to pull the door.
Doing
Not
so
doing anything
snaps the hinges as you yank on it, and there's all that resistance on the bottom. So basically, the top hinge snaps, goes flying off, and you hear a ricocheting ding 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 as it hits the walls of the cavern behind you and falls down, traveling, and you hear splash at the bottom of the cavern behind you.
I'm
bottom of the
pressed
chasm.
up against the wall looking at the bats.
we should probably hurry.
Yeah. So now you're just standing there holding this door. So you see the dire bats actually stretch their wings out, and all hundreds of these little beady red eyes just basically start opening on the roof above you guys.
We
Godric
can't
starts
stop
waving
here.
him through the door.
This is bad country.
Godric is waving. Fuck you. Fuck you. Godric is waving everyone in through the door.
That's a meme. When the jokes are hot, but the danger's high.
Yeah.
I go through the
All
door.
right, yeah. So you start running through
Come
the
on,
door.
everybody! Come on!
Yes, where do we go
And you hear
now?
the bats start like swarming and fluttering around, and they just start dropping down from the ceiling and like chasing you all down the hallway.
Yeah. Run.
So
So once we get in, can I turn around and try to shut the door again?
threw it.
no, he didn't throw it.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
he
broke
didn't
a
throw
hinge.
it.
It was just like
He
the
broke
top
and popped the
hinge.
hinge
Okay,
and it
okay,
popped off.
okay.
So I want to try to shut the
Like
door as quick
wedge
as
it
I
back
can.
into the frame, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull and try to pull it in there. And then if I have enough time, I want to grab the rope and try to. If there's two door handles on the other side, I want to rope them together.
Okay, so do you want to hold the door in place, or are you trying? Those seem like two different things.
So I'm gonna try to shut the door, and as I'm shutting it, someone tie the handles together. As I pull the door shut, and I kind of keep it just like yanked and shut.
All right, yeah. So you basically pull this door back in, and you line it up as best as you can, and it's the hinge, the top hinge is like just twisted. You did a number on it, and it won't like shut fully. There's leaving about maybe like a 1.5 foot gap that it's open, that it just will not sit back in place. But you can get it to the idea that it would become a barrier if somebody else reinforces it. But you know, based on the size of the dire bats, that if the door isn't secured in some way, nothing's going to stop them.
Can I bust out like so the hinge
You
is
can do
there?
whatever you want.
You're fair.
Game.
So seeing the hinge kind of damaged and stuff, can I reach up and try to rip the hinge off to kind of allow the door to like seat better? Because if it's missing the hinge entirely, it should sit better as long as the door's not bent.
I mean, that's theoretical. Does anybody else have any other ideas? I feel like I awarded you guys a really, really useful item not that long ago.
Sure.
Probably did.
Yeah. I wasn't there for that. I wasn't there for that.
You have it. It's a
The
very
pins?
fancy rod. It's quite
Immovable.
Immovable?
Yeah.
Immovable?
Sir,
That's
get
what
the
you
fuck
said.
out of here!
That's what you said.
Justin, time out.
Is it still in the bag of holding? Did we not
No,
decide
it
to
should
give
be-
it to somebody?
We gave
It's
it to
still,
you.
yeah, it's still in the.
You asked
You have
for
it.
it.
Yeah.
And we gave
It's
it
in the
to you.
holding. We didn't assign it to anybody.
I didn't ask for it.
I could have sworn you did.
It's in the bag of holding. We didn't assign it to anybody.
Yeah, you guys didn't. So it would be in the bag holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
So you hear Godric kind of looking around, trying to hold the door.
So are the two doors? What kind of handles do they have? Do they have like loops?
Yeah, they're loops.
Are they are they lined up enough to stick something through that's solid like that? Or is because you said there's a gap, so I don't think so.
because I could try to pull harder too to get him closer.
And frankly, we'd be leaving behind it's a wooden door.
Yeah, it's definitely made of wood. It's pretty solid though.
Keep
It's
it
probably
moving.
oak.
Oh no.
All right, yeah, that's a great idea.
Or just
Let's do it.
run and we shoot fire back at them.
So
If someone can do that.
Okay, so yeah, I know what to do. Pull it close all the way.
at that, I grab one handle and I grab the other handle and I start trying to pull him as tight as I can.
Make me a strength check.
Fuck.
Or athletics check, please.
Oh! Athletics.
Yeah.
21.
21. Oh yeah. So you more or less just wrestle this old door back into the door jamb and line it up. The whole time just straining against it.
I remove the rod from the bag, slip it between the two loops, and then click the button. That'll hold.
So the rod kicks out 2 ram's heads, bam, and then you lock it in place.
Does this mean I can let go?
Yes.
Yeah.
I let go. I kind of.
So while standing there, you hear basically the swarms of bats, the flapping of the wings as they kind of just turn from the door, and like you hear like just all of them just individually just flying right by the door, like right next to it. Some of them kind of battering against it, patting against it, and turning. And then you hear the very distinct sound of something very heavy, like landing on the platform on the other side of the door, and you can hear like just distinctive breathing.
Well, I think it's time we kept going.
Gotta just go.
Already down the hall.
Katarina,
Burrow's like, no, I don't talk
you
to
could
bats.
Bring the that
No bats.
globe you have
Bats have bad attitude.
forward more.
Yes, of course. I'll send the globe out so it's in front of the group. So
Might
we
be
can
easier
what
to
we're
see
doing.
for some of us.
So basically what awaits you on the other side of this door is a set of natural caves, like wide sets of chambers and varying pathways that kind of break off in multiple directions. Some one heading down, others heading and breaking off into like left and right. The room is filled with stalagmites, and just all in all, it's just very dimly lit by your drift globe. So you guys can basically see that there are multiple entrances, but outside of that, without getting closer, or multiple exits out of the room, you can't really see any further than that. So it's about maybe 100 feet or so.
Oh, looks like we got to pick a direction. Maybe we can check to see what looks well traveled.
Are there any? I don't read Elven, so that's a problem.
I would like to try something. I'm
I'm
gonna
a bump on a log here.
pull out Gwendolyn.
Okay.
And I want to see if it statically sparks anywhere to a specific direction.
So you're going to go and hold it up in front of every tunnel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, divining rod.
Yeah, just
Interesting.
Like, you're like,
not hit with electricity. It's not fine.
While he's doing that, I don't actually read Elven, but I want to check each direction for any kind of markings and see if there's, I don't know, any kind of pattern I can recognize. Or
okay,
if
make an
they're-
investigation check.
Even if they're just each
And I
individually
read it.
marked. So
Okay.
I would recognize Elven at the very least, I guess. Investigation. That's an eye. It's down there. 19. 19.
That was a really high perception check that you just rolled to find out where the investigation number was.
Yeah. Thanks, bud.
Yeah,
Glad
you're
you
welcome.
noticed.
You don't see any sort of like markings anywhere. There's no writing anywhere in the room. Nothing that's perceptible to you at all, at least. There's more or less.
These tunnels, they're like worked. It's not like natural. Cave.
Oh no, this is all natural cave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, no, you don't see anything that stands out as any kind of directions, any kind of markers, or anything that would lead you in any particular tunnel. What's so funny? What did I'm pretty sure I described it as being a natural.
It's
natural
yeah, I don't know.
Right?
We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. This is why I made the lol meme.
The question is, what word are you laughing at?
Alex
Like,
in chat
is it natural or natural cave?
No, it's because he's like, it's a natural cave, blah, blah, blah system. And then Matt's like investigating, and he's like, Saz, these are worked caves, right? He's like, no, in fact, they're natural.
Yeah.
It's like, no, actually, the opposite of what you just said. And that's why
I'm trying to reacclimate to the table. I'm like reading and trying to listen to you all and hey, listen. Fuck you.
These all say like some excuses.
We're friends.
Yeah.
So it was just like, oh yeah, no.
Describe it again.
That, but the opposite.
Describe everything again.
It's about a 100-foot room with multiple exits and entrances and tunnels that go in various directions and branch off to their own systems.
And those are man-made tunnels?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
We walked through it already.
I expected that from him. You?
It's fun here now. It's somehow fun because it came from Tara's little quiet corner of the table. So that's a no.
Okay. Right.
Yes. So yes, your sword doesn't spark in front of any particular tunnel, but it does kind of give off an electric shock in the room as you're moving through it.
I thought that would work.
It's an interesting idea.
It was making sparks earlier. I thought it might do it again. There it is. Found it.
And you'll lose it.
Cell?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Well, I guess we just pick one.
I want to move the drift globe as far as I can down some of the tunnels and just see if any of them have any distinguishing features
okay.
without going all the way down them, see if any of them look different.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So yeah, you just kind of walk the drift globe over there and you just looking at them. There doesn't seem to be any kind of discernible differences between any of them, other than just more than likely
System sounds.
which I was pretty sure is supposed to be muted,
Supposed to.
which is frustrating.
No, it's just it's what Warforged sound like when they burp.
Yeah, system sounds are all the way down.
Weird.
Why did that happen anyways?
Well, that didn't work. We're gonna have to pick a direction.
Nothing to distinguish one cave from the other. From another.
Did you not say some of them were in Elvish?
No.
Oh.
There's nothing. I was saying as a player, Locke doesn't know Elven.
Who's looking for any possible directions? No.
Oh, is there any writing or markings in the wall?
No. That's what I was
Which
looking
one?
for.
I was double checking. That's why I asked you again.
I don't see why we can't just pick one.
Yeah, maybe these.
How many ways are there?
There's like 3 main ways that go out in the tunnels.
This is supposed to be a burial tomb for an elven warrior. Is there any significance of numbers in elvenness?
Sorry, I'm attempting to compute what you just said.
I think it's stranger that an elven tomb is in a natural cave, unworked entirely.
Well, it's quite old.
And this was not the original resting place of the knight either.
I walk up so that I'm kind of in the center of the room, and I just close my eyes and mutter to myself for a little bit. And then I open, turn, and look at one of the tunnels on the right. This is the way to go.
Well, that's bullshit.
Have a little faith. And I start walking down that tunnel.
Follow him.
Nah.
Hey, it's as good as pick as any. If it's wrong, we can just double back, check another tunnel. Might take us a few days.
Before I walk back, I look back at the immovable rod, and then keep going.
Don't worry, we won't get lost. Goblins have excellent sense of direction when we're underground. It's inherent. It's natural. So, I'm just saying, if we go, we'll find our way back perfectly. It's Genetic. I inherited it from my great-grandpa on my mother's side.
Why do I not believe you?
Because you're not a trusting and caring individual.
I've had a lot to deter those last things in the past couple of months.
I'm just saying, if you were part goblin, you would understand. And have I ever let you down? I've always had your back.
You see Godric raise a finger.
Exactly. Let's follow the guys. I put my hands behind my head and I start like walking in the strut behind him.
Yeah, Godric just falls after you.
My drift globe will lead the way, but I will be in the middle.
Sounds like a song.
Is it
Make it
a song?
It could be a
Be
song.
careful, Behir's like to attack the center of parties.
I believe it.
The heroes like to attack everyone at once.
Drift globe will lead the way, but I'll be in the middle.
This is why
Trent
you
just
are-
starts writing a new song.
Yeah, 100%.
Well done, Katarina. I mean, unless anybody has a better idea, I stop already like 15 feet in.
Hey, we gotta commit. We gotta commit to this. Don't worry, we won't get lost. Like I was telling Godric.
You probably have a better sense of direction than any of us.
No, I have the best sense of direction.
Well,
He's just
again,
like
what
in
would-
tune with his elf.
I mean, I have a moral compass. Perhaps that's the sense of direction you meant.
No.
Oh, well, no, not particularly underground. I don't know. Maybe
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, you're an elf. This dead guy is probably an elf. So you're just like in sync. It's metaphysical.
Marlena is not a dead guy. She's a dragon knight.
I assumed you got some form of direction from your deity.
Yes, with every breath I take.
Every step you take.
Every move you make.
Every smile you make.
You see Godric just a real big sigh. He doesn't respond, just...
Okay, so
I thought you'd
I
understand.
think I
that.
fixed that. So
Being a follower of Crom, surely he speaks to you, or has he abandoned you like he did the rest of his children?
He wasn't abandoned. We were not abandoned. He was forced out of power. Difference.
I think we've read different things.
Probably.
either way, so
So I picked the third tunnel on the right.
on the right. Okay.
That was the wrong tunnel. We should go back. Oh no!
What's
Unwavering
Why is he
confidence.
rolling?
Why do we even have that tunnel?
Wrong tunnel. Okay.
Queen Reaper, hello. Not much. Hello.
So, heading through the tunnel, after an hour or so following this tunnel, you begin to hear that very low like a couple of times you hear that almost like low sounding like thump, and as you continue to move through the tunnel, it kind of turns into a low, almost consistent like reverberating, almost thrumming to a degree, just as you get closer, and it gets a little bit louder, and eventually you see like a bluish, like almost like snapping of like light ahead in the tunnel, and there'll be like light flashes and distortions, and as it comes, the tunnel opens up finally into a large chamber. This chamber is basically covered by about ankle deep water, just all the way through. And rising from the center of all the water in various places, there are crystalline-like, bluish, humming structures just kind of poking up. And as you kind of stand there and observe, you see every once in a while a discharge of lightning that hits the water and jumps to these crystals or out of them to one another, and then just kind of chain reactions through the room.
Does the humming sound like really high voltage?
Make a perception check.
Oh, dang. 14?
It starts off really low and then continuously builds in intensity before finally, like, a lightning discharge erupts out of one of these crystals.
Well,
And then runs through the water and just jumps to one of these other crystal structures.
well, it seems like we're going the right way. You know, I've heard some stories about Behirs, and they make really good, guards. So, my guess, if it's here to guard the night. So if we run into it, we're going in the right direction. It's kind of like a good news, bad news situation, right?
So they're mindless beasts just placed in the way of anybody who might be robbing the tomb?
No, they're not mindless. They're actually pretty intelligent and trainable, and that's why they make such good guards.
Hey, Andy, I'm gonna send you a message real quick.
Okay.
However, it takes someone of a certain caliber to train them properly to do something like this, to guard in that way. But I wouldn't say they're mindless.
During our time in Emrath, I've read a little bit about them. They are fiercely... They hate dragons.
What?
I just saw what he typed. I'm like, that's not English.
Use your word.
It's because autocorrect.
Autocorrect corrects to English. I'm just going to say that.
Okay, take that last word and make it Behir.
Well, there.
They're fierce enemies of dragons.
Fair,
Just
but
because that's how it normally is.
how would
Make
this
a
be
history check.
placed?
Okay.
How would this be placed in the tomb to guard her if she was buried so long ago? How long do they live?
Maybe
14.
Maybe it's even the offspring of one that's what its parent did. Guarded, learned from its parent, and it just carried on.
I remember stories of Behir, at least in my tribe. So the supposed rumor is that Behir were made by storm giants as weapons against dragons. There is a story of they used to call it it was for giants to put them to bed. That if you go out during the storms, you could run into a Behir, and they would eat you. Like to swallow and digest over time. If they were supposedly aligned with giants, we could try talking to it and tell it what we're doing. If we can convince it that we are here to get stuff to fight dragons and to stop dragons from conquering the world, it might help us a little bit.
Well, maybe I could help. I have a way of, talking to people.
It hates everybody. The things that hates less are giants.
Is it an intelligent creature that you can reason with?
If what I remember is true, yes. But again, I haven't heard these stories in 30 years.
Then perhaps we call for it.
Yeah.
At the very least, it would come in, even if it's going to be a fight, at least it wouldn't be an ambush.
If we can find a spot that's not in water, that'd be better. Lightning
That
in
seems
water
fair.
does not work well.
No, I think they work very well together.
Depends on where you're standing.
Point taken.
Well, how about we get across here and try and find some higher ground, and then we can try calling it, It's, yeah, boy! Yeah, boy!
That is already a problem.
Okay,
That's being disrespectful.
the
Wasn't.
the crystals seem to carry a charge. Rather large one.
Do they absorb it?
There's no way.
It seems like they're conducting the charges.
my point is the humming, and the jolts. We could listen for them and make sure to move between crystals only when directly after they seem to need to build up. So never place yourself between two of them.
What happens if we break it?
Listen carefully. I wouldn't. Yeah, I suspect if you touch one of these, it will hurt.
I was mainly thinking along the lines of you breaking it to fall.
Breaking it how?
Magic?
There's a very real chance that we'll be fighting a very dangerous beast.
I meant during the beast fight. If the beast happens to position itself underneath that.
I wouldn't waste time with that. If that happens in this room, we should leave. Not try and break crystals and fight a monster.
You may not have a choice.
I could do it maybe, but I would like for that to be plan C.
The oh shit plan, as we call it.
Our usual.
I think the more pressing concern is how do we get across this cavern? Do we go back and pick another tunnel, or?
I think the waters will be safe as long as we're not too close to one that's starting to hum.
Out of character, are you resistant to electricity?
Not at all.
Okay.
I use it.
Just generic style question, because I was just curious, because you use it so much.
The only thing a Warforged is resistant to is
Breathing.
poison and disease. I can't get disease and I can't be poisoned. Or I can be, but it's hard.
Well, then we try to time it and move as a unit.
About how long is there between, like, big shocks?
6 seconds.
You have to spend a little bit of time sitting here and figuring it out. Because at the moment, it feels random and intermittent without any pattern. But if you have spent enough time, maybe there is one.
Alright, so I would like to sit here for a little bit and inspect the crystals. And my theory is that you will hear the one that's about to discharge hum as the charge builds, and then it will arc to the nearest one, which is what electricity does. So if that's the case, and I can find that that's correct, then our timing should be to go through the room, and if you start to hear one hum, move, make sure you're not between, make sure you're further away from it than the nearest crystal. Anyway, so I guess that's the theory. Do I need to roll? What's up?
What are you trying to roll for?
An investigation on the pattern.
Oh, okay. You want to like hang out and?
Yeah, I want to see if that's true. If it arcs between the two crystals that are. If there are a cluster of crystals, it always arcs to the nearest crystal.
Okay.
And it always hums when the charge builds.
Okay, so how much time do you want to spend doing this?
10 minutes.
10 minutes is not going to be enough.
As long as it takes. How long are we talking about?
It's up to you.
Fish.
You can spend the day in here, as far as I'm concerned.
11 minutes. 12.
Based on the seemingly random intermittent discharges in the crystals, the way that they've been working, like minimum of an hour would be required to even start to put together a pattern.
Could my
I'm willing to go just based on the theory.
could my sword be used as a conductor?
It might be good for a warning, but you wouldn't want to conduct. That's the point. We need to make sure we're further away from whatever's about to discharge than its next nearest.
Let's see what happens. Before I kind of want to see what happens.
We don't want to be the thing that conducts and grounds.
Oh, that's a good point.
We want to be away from.
The question is, would the sword warn us, or would it just conduct it because it's another current?
Or, as Ophion said, we could always go back and try a different direction.
That's true.
Or is this the right
We
way?
could, but, well, I mean, if the Behir is guarding the tomb, then we have to be going the right way, right?
It's
How,
an electrical
how
beast.
far do
so
we have to cross to get from like the entrance to the exit out of this room?
Just based on the very minor illumination from the various discharges, you're guessing from the nearest side that you can see that would basically be dry to your feet. You would probably have to clear one end of the chamber, and this is more or less just kind of a guess. You probably have to clear at least maybe 175 yards worth of ankle deep water.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Godric's actually going to do something. He's going to reach in to his chest and pull one of the throwing axes out of his hand and kind of just toss it up and trying to kind of like arc it out to see if the lightning's going to strike it
Okay.
as a test.
So you heave it out there, and it flies through there, and then it just lands in the water.
I was assuming the electricity would conduct off the metal.
This is interesting talks of science and whatnot, but I have a better solution. I walk forward and I take my glaive and I hold it out in front of me and I concentrate for a second and then stab it into the water and cast control water and part the water.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So the water just how much water can you control at a time with that?
300 feet worth. I can control. Well, okay. Until the spell ends, you control any freestanding water inside an area you choose that is a cube of up to 100 feet on a side. You can choose from any of the following effects when you cast the spell. As an action on your turn, you can repeat the same effect or choose a different one. Part water is one of the options.
You can at least part it around us.
Right. You can cause water in the area to move apart and create a trench. The trench extends across the spell's area, which is a 300-foot area.
Okay.
And the separated water forms a wall to either side. The trench remains until the spell ends or you choose a different effect. The water then slowly fills in the trench over the course of the next round until the normal water level is restored.
Well,
Nice.
spells.
No, I'm not walking on it. I'm partying. I'm Elvin Moses.
Yeah.
So you can basically create a canal to walk through that's at least 100 yards.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So that gets you, basically through. How long does it last?
10 minutes concentration.
It's concentration.
Yeah.
Okay. So the water just parts. It starts like filling upwards and just creating this very small direct pathway. And it just kind of runs across the room, throwing the water aside. And for the most part, it looks like clear. It clears some of the water around one of the nearest crystals in front of you and runs to the other side.
Oh, Tim, that's freaking awesome.
I have to concentrate, so let's save the praise for later and just move.
Everyone stay close.
Right,
Just in case.
concentrate,
At that I
concentrate.
start, I make a hustle.
I follow Olteon, reminding him to concentrate. Concentrate,
Make
concentrate,
sure
don't
to
get
keep
distracted.
everyone close together.
Block all
So
the
that-
other noises out.
They're within a 10-foot circle around me.
Just patting them on the hip. Concentrate.
Let's go.
So as you make your way through the chamber,
Don't let anyone distract you from this awesome spell. Oh, you're so cool. So glad we brought you along, but concentrate.
This isn't my spell. It's all the Chari's.
Exactly. Keep it up.
you make it to the nearest crystal structure and the thrumming begins, and you start to feel like this static discharge building as like the hair on like your arms begins to kind of like stand up and is pulled, and you start to feel Gwendolyn kind of vibrating a little bit in your hands. And there's a very, very light, like brightish, whitish light on the very bottom of the base of the crystal-like structure, jutting out of the ground, and begins to kind of build up to this almost bluish, bright hue. As you guys get past it on the other side, it lunges out with a large crack and jumps straight into the ceiling into another one of the nearby crystal structures coming down from the roof. And then it just kind of continues its way, leaping from crystal to crystal, much as they have the entirety of the time. Oltheon continues to part the water ahead of you and lead you safely to the other side of the chamber. Once on the other side of the chamber, it discharges again one of the nearby crystals, and you just barely catch what seems like the back end of a large serpent-like creature basically pulling its way up into a hole in the roof of the cavern, and like some rocks and debris kind of just trickle down and hit them into the water down below. On the other side is basically just a wide open, very large singular tunnel, and this one, looking at it, seems like the chamber you're in, this side, is natural, but it actually looks like slab stone and carved, like worked stone leading forward from here. And then as you approach, you hear that static discharge, and then you start to see these strange little orbs of light basically kind of just blink on and off down, scattered throughout this long tunnel ahead of you.
Are the orbs like floating, or are they like
They're not
built
floating.
into a substructure?
It's hard to see because they're pretty far away.
Oh, okay.
And they're like flashing.
Mm-hmm.
And did the serpent thing or serpentile creature crawling into the ceiling look like it was a Behir?
Well, make a nature check.
Oh, I was super do that. Nature.
Do it. Do it superly.
Do it super good.
Oh, up there.
That's pretty good.
I rolled a 16.
A 16? Oh, matches the description of one.
I think that's it. I think that's the Behir. Alright, I'm next to you. I think that's the Behir. It's up there. It just went in that hole. Godric. I run over to Godric. Now's your chance. It's up there.
I think.
Should I speak out?
Well,
I will,
we
but
can
I'm not
just
going to do it
keep
without
moving.
permission.
Let's keep moving.
I don't really have the ability to use the spell again if we have to.
So let's get to the other side and then say hello.
Perhaps. Let's get out of here and into the next tunnel.
Yes.
Dry our feet a little.
What should I?
I'm just gonna throw this out for the group's consideration, right? If this thing is guarding this place, before we track our muddy footprints in through this holy space that it's supposed to be guarding, if we're trying to win it over with conversation, it might be worth having the conversation before it catches us. Ask for permission instead of forgiveness. I don't know, just
I guess it depends on how intelligent they really are. Let's consider that. I'd rather not fight a giant creature built for killing dragons.
Well, how thoroughly do you clean that blade? Maybe it smells the blood of dragons. Enemy of its enemy and
I don't
such.
think he's ever struck a dragon with it. Have you fought a dragon?
2? I think I've fought 2 now at this point, right?
Impressive.
Well, you definitely used your adamantine
Ah.
sword when you were fighting that big red son of a bitch.
I still named him coward when he left.
You know, names like that only work if they like catch on. You know, like Twin Twilight. Everyone knows it.
I'll make sure to tell other dragons before I kill them.
They gotta
It's
pass.
a shot in the dark. I don't expect that will buy as much.
Okay, it's just an idea. We can keep going. It's fine. Just we're making the conscious decision to keep going. That's all. I'm not really invested either way. I just want to live.
Well,
So this way then.
yes, I think we keep going, and if it does show itself to us at some point, we just won't attack it immediately and try to reason with it first.
And if reasoning doesn't work, then maybe we can trick it. Oh, great Behir, we're here to serve you.
No.
No. We'll see what happens.
Anyways, this way, I think. And I'll send the drift globe out into the tunnel.
Okay.
Once I think we're safe from the waters, I'll drop the spell.
Alright. So the water just comes crashing back in and consumes the rest of the floor, which was parted, and begins to once again conduct lightning as it charges from the various crystals and kind of jumps into the water and through the room.
Lightning on the water, Behir in the ceiling.
So it's Trin's singing, you know, and you're walking down the halls. As you finally get closer to these lights, you recognize that the craftsmanship and the working of it is all more or less elven. These are sort of magical lights made of crystal that are pretty prominent in almost all elven cities. It's an old magic arcane trick that they use. It seems that more or less they may or may not be powered pretty much by what's happening in the other chamber. It's ornate trimming on the stone and carvings, all of it basically the same, reciting and repeating prayers to Kelvandria, and more or less granting protection to the resting place of the elf who is buried here, or the warrior who is buried here.
These are old wardings. I don't know how much magic they have, but we should be respectful here.
I'm sorry. Out of character, all I could hear in my own head was, "Yes, let's be respectful while we rob the dead." Whoa.
Who says we're robbing the dead? Jeez.
Says the dead wouldn't want us to get help.
It still is the first thing that was in my head. Well, then do we?
You would know this place more than we would.
Oh yeah, I've been here plenty of times.
I meant it was Elvin.
Sure. Elven people know elven things, I guess.
Live long enough.
That's a massive generalization. You're not wrong.
Plenty of time to learn.
That's true.
Alright. Respectful. Quiet.
I would like to look at the ceiling and look for holes. Actually, Katerina, can the drift globe go up? I would like to look at the ceiling to see if there's any holes.
Sure, I think so. How high is the ceiling?
It's about 12 feet or so. It's about 10 feet wide, about 12 feet tall.
I think technically it can only hover 5 feet off the ground.
Just like throw it up.
So you'll have to just pick it up and hold it up there.
If I can do that.
Yeah.
That'll get it as close as to the
Yeah, you
ceiling
see
as we can.
That's perfect. Yeah, Godric, with her permission, grabs on the drift globe and just elevates it about 10 to 11 feet in the air. Because fucking wingspan is huge.
It's also about a foot in diameter, so it's probably touching the ceiling.
Because I was doing the math. Because
It's 8.5 feet tall.
my wingspan theoretically is the same this way. So you cut it in half, and that's this. So then you remove about a foot, and you got fucking, my wingspan is like, it's still your 3.5 feet.
What?
Single arm reach, right?
That doesn't sound
I see what you're getting at. I mean, you're probably closer to, around 11 and a half
feet. 11 and a half to 12 feet is my reach. With like reaching
without
up.
going up on your toes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of reach.
I just kind of did the math just now. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I hold the Grifflow a foot from the ceiling, and I'm like, I'm looking for entrances or holes that the Behir might tunnel out of.
Okay. Walking the length of the tunnel until it reaches its end, you don't see anything. At the end is a set of basically large square doors,
Look,
flanked on either side by a statue of, carved in the likeness, like recessed in the wall in the likeness of Kelvandria.
are you a transmutist at all?
No. Or maybe. Those skills haven't come back to me if I ever was.
Oh, okay. I have a potion of fire resistance, and I've heard that some transmutists have the ability to change the qualities of certain potions. I was hoping maybe you could do that. Some lightning resistance might be nice.
I truly wish that was possible for me, but I need an intricate knowledge of alchemy and transmutation, and neither of them I specialize with.
Maybe if you do remember some alchemy, you could have a cool nickname like the Full Metal Alchemist.
Because I'm all metal.
Heavy metal.
There was this intent look in Tara's eyes that I was like, oh, she has something really useful to say.
And you were correct.
I got one, guys. I got one.
That was pretty important.
I don't get that. Is that a thing? All right. Well,
Gets a lot easier when you have the Philosopher's Stone.
that would be a good nickname, but unfortunately, no. Alchemy is not. I know calligraphy.
Super useful.
Yeah.
So on the other side of this room, there you can hear very similar but very steady, like there's very similar thrumming and like sound of and a little bit of like static, kind of radiating from the other side of the door.
Well,
Trin, are you going to do your ritual with the doors?
It's more of an inspection than a ritual, but yeah, I will. And I indignantly walk up, the indignity of this task, and I inspect the door for traps.
Okay.
Woo, baby!
that's an inspection.
I inspected the crap out of that door. 21.
It does quite look like a ritual, doesn't it?
I find any like places my fingers will fit, and I see if they like trip any explosions. And
That's always the best
That's your way
for
to look
to
for
try
traps,
to
is
trip, to try to
just
trip
try
them.
to trip
I'm a mere goblin. It is a sword I'm willing to fall on for my compatriots.
Okay.
And then I look through the keyhole, see if I can peep anything on the other side of it. Is there a keyhole? And then I look through it, if there is one, and I peep what's on the other side. Not in any kind of weird way, but to see if anything's like electric-y and gonna kill us.
All right, so it doesn't seem like there's any sort of tricks or traps to the door. All outward appearances say that it's just a very basic door. There's nothing that would give the impression that there's anything dangerous about the door, just looking at it. It's not hot or cold or strange or in any way.
Made
upon
my hair
inspecting
stand up when I touch it?
No, it's a basic door.
Yep, this baby's good. I guess, you would think, with it being a burial site, holy and stuff, they might like protect it, but maybe they figured the Behir's plenty.
Now that I'm by the door, I'm just gonna. Sorry, I had to fix the point star real quick.
What was wrong with it?
I was all for Among Us.
Oh.
I didn't get changed. That's my bad.
We would have had to roll with it if somebody played an Among Us thing. If it was like, I accuse you, like,
Just
Yeah,
you're voted off the table.
Alex sings for the next few minutes.
out the airlock.
Oh no, I left that one, Alex.
Hmm.
Everything you said had to be sing. I left that one in there.
Oh, geez, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I feel attacked.
Sing like a bird.
Caw-caw, caw-caw.
Do it, goblin.
You said the door was clear, right?
Yep.
After that, I take put the orb back 5 feet from the ground, let it go. just kind of. Then I'm gonna grasp the doors and pull them open.
All right.
Actually, before
And
that,
dead.
before I pull them open, Otheon, am I good to open these?
You want to do over?
If I'm good with either, I was just gonna kind of ask permission from the elf.
Really?
Well, you're holding both handles, which means if you open it and there's something behind it, you'll be bearing a chest to it. Why not just grab one handle and step to the side?
That counts as permission, and I opened it.
You get an arrow right to the
Bear in your
chest.
It's like, what's it for you, sir?
One hit. Ah! Several hits. Oh no!
That's the way it starts.
There's that scene from American Gods. Just
Yeah.
that was
I loved that.
that was crazy.
The book was weirder than the show, if that's even possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, at least they made it like regularly where you could like
My drink became
reasonable
unmixed, so I'm remixing it.
The funny thing is, he's drinking water.
I think what he's Andrew. I think what he's
though.
doing is posturing and challenging you in your authority.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I think.
So
Alex, let me beat you to it. Come at me, bro.
as the doors
don't do
swing
that.
open, a brilliant flash of white and bluish light kind of just radiates out of the room, filling the hallway. And we're gonna take a break.
Oh! What's on the other side?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Don't make me wait.
Yeah. So
That's how I got
as
in my last
Godric pulls the
relationship.
doors open and is blasted with light, you're greeted with a circular chamber with a room with a massive lyrium crystal column charged with lightning, which is lashing outwards almost like a Tesla coil and striking the surrounding walls
Sorry.
at random intervals. On the ground, you see basically the decayed and partially devoured corpses of humanoids, dire bats, goblinoids, and the rather large Umber Hulk that has been dismembered in the chamber. At the furthest edge of the room from you, you see the decayed bones of several Behirs are scattered about in the chamber.
Me and Alex are speaking.
Carved into the floor, there's carved in Elven is a phrase that reads as, "Only a worthy warrior with the knowledge of one's true self may touch the heart and reveal her resting place." What? The floor seems to be a checkerboard pattern and is about 25 or 30-ish feet away. The checkerboards, the dark squares, seem to be made of a grated steel.
Sorry, I'm a slow writer.
No, I was mainly complimenting about your left hand.
Nice left hand, bro.
Nice left hand.
No,
bro.
he's writing.
Wait, you're left-handed? I thought we could be friends.
Yeah, he's a mutant. He's an aberration.
Only a true
If you
warrior.
A worthy warrior.
if you were into heraldry at all, you'd be like, that's quite sinister.
A worthy warrior who
With
knows
knowledge of one's true self,
self.
may touch the heart and reveal
Yes.
her resting place.
knowledge of one's true self may touch her heart,
The heart.
The heart.
the heart, and knowledge
Stop
of resting
it.
place.
Just give up on
Reveal
writing.
Reveal her resting place.
And
trying,
reveal
you
her resting place. Well, of course, it's talking about me.
Yeah, the walls in the chamber are basically recessed and basically broken up. Each panel of the wall is maybe 15 feet, and the circumference of the room goes around, breaking up about every 15 feet. There's a column, and the wall's recessed into it. The chamber itself in the lyrium crystal is got to be at least maybe 38 or 40 feet tall, and just basically comes all the way down from the ceiling and doesn't really touch the floor, but kind of just rests right above it. Yeah.
So it rests right above the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we found
Basically,
it.
yeah.
Well, we found something.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that humming is very steady, and there's that steady rhythmic just thump, thump.
Anyone know what that says down below?
Yes. Only a worthy warrior, with knowledge of one's true self, may touch the heart and reveal her resting place.
Huh.
As you observe these seemingly random arcing discharges that come from the Lyrian crystal, every once in a while, one of them will strike one of the metal panels on the floor and just electrify them. And then after about maybe 10 seconds or so, 15-ish seconds, it'll kind of dissipate.
Where's the heart?
Best guess, maybe the lyrium crystal.
And you want one of us to touch it?
I don't want any of you to go over there at all.
Well, we came here, and we have to get around this. Because we need whatever is here, we came here for a reason.
So I guess we're hoping that one of us is a worthy warrior with knowledge of themselves,
I don't even know what that means.
of one's true self.
I don't know. It seems like he knows himself pretty good. Maybe have him go up and touch it. As I point to your bugbear friend.
I'm not in the habit of speaking for him, but I'd prefer he didn't.
Burrup's fur, his facial hair and stuff, is all kind of just out a little bit more, and his ears are they twitch and go down. No, I no touch. No, Obion should touch. He knows himself more than anybody. And he nudges you. Obion, go touch it.
I know pride is something I have to work on quite a bit, but I'd prefer not having to go.
Whoever volunteers, step forward, and he just steps backwards.
Well, I guess we've all volunteered. Let's try.
The question is are we sure that's the heart? We have to go in there and look now.
Well,
I mean,
We've made it here, there's no turning back.
massive circular chamber around a massive stone of lyrium.
This is not the weirdest thing you and me have walked
In
into.
The thumping
center of
noise.
The room,
everything points to this being the heart.
in the center of the tomb.
Screw it. I step into the room.
I flinch.
I do too. I'm like, eh. God.
I mean, you step in and nothing happens.
Oh my God.
There's about a space between a gap between the walls and where the checkerboard pattern starts. That's maybe about 5.5 feet worth of clearance.
Thank Chrome. So, anyone smarter than me know how to get across this?
Well, everyone's smarter than you.
Again, that's why I said anyone else.
Oh, okay.
I'm aware I'm not that smart. Not an idiot.
Didn't mean to call you stupid. I'm sure you're very intelligent for a Goliath.
Well, it seems that only the dark tiles are getting shocked. So maybe you can avoid this.
Avoid the dark tiles? I mean, what's the distance between the non-dark tiles between each other?
You mean what size are each of the tiles?
Yeah, thank you.
Each of the tiles is maybe about 3 feet, maybe a quarter or so.
I could try to jump between each tile.
Well, they do touch on the corners. You could probably just step between them.
I have to. Fuck it. Why am I doing this? You're loving. You're doing the thing with the hands, Locke.
Because I'm nervous.
Generally, you have an answer when you're doing the rubbing.
What I'm thinking, the problem is we usually don't have time for that.
Now we do.
We
Do
have
the
plenty
thinking.
of time. We could sit here for a while. I'm sure.
Can I look around and see if there's any other writing?
You can do
on
whatever you want.
Victim number
busted.
2.
It wasn't just me. Ow.
I would like to look around on the walls and see if there's any more writing anywhere.
Okay. Would you like to actually enter the chamber and walk around the outside and check all the different wall panels, or are you just trying to see from where it's standing at the doorway?
Yeah,
Like, what's
I'll walk
visible
around
from
the
there?
perimeter of the room.
Okay. All right. So make an investigation check.
investigation checks, one of his trigger words.
Oh, I do have advantage on investigation because of my eyes of minute seeing. I'll pull those down.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. Rolling hot.
Did you get another one? By that I mean
No, I
another
got
one?
a 2 and a 3.
Ooh, hey, that's 1, 2, 3.
So 5.
Check.
As you kind of pace the room, like kind of carefully watching for those random discharges of lightning that strike the walls, when you get to all the way to the other side of the crystal where the bodies of the Behirs are, you see that there is basically a small circular fitting that looks like it's a solid piece of lyrium in the wall. Like just embedded in the wall and kind of surrounded with this gold embellishment.
But no words.
No words.
I step to the side and I go, Lock.
Yes.
Don't make it obvious. But come here, as I pull him towards the
I kind
door.
of kneel down.
Mm-hmm.
Pull him towards the door. I think I see something. As I look up towards like the base of the crystal where it meets the ceiling, there's something up there. It's curled up. Can you see it?
Do I see it? If he's pointing it out to me.
So it takes a minute, but once the crystal fires off a piece of electricity and kind of lights up, there's a flash in the room. You do see that there's something all the way up at the top of the roof that's kind of almost nuzzled up to or has wrapped itself around the base of the lyrium.
Alright. Stay calm.
Not knowing about that since I'm on the other side of the room. There's another crystal over here.
Where is it?
I'm like on the very opposite side of the room
Yeah.
from where we
Oh,
came
I'm gonna
in.
walk over to you then.
So, this one is small and round though. It looks to be made of the same material.
Where, how far is it from where we're standing to it?
Like from the door to there,
Yeah.
the chamber is...
Is it on the entire other side of the chamber?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way to get to it besides going across the checkerboard of death?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Around
can
the
just go
edge.
around the perimeter.
Yeah, how'd she
Yeah, I thought that's what you just said.
I thought she saw it. That's why I don't know if she got to it.
Oh,
No, she went over there and was.
Yeah.
She saw it, but she saw it because she went over there.
Oh, then I'll go.
She's just like, oh yeah, you guys inspect stuff. I'm gonna go in here and check it out.
Is this the crystal that you were talking about?
Yes, it looks to be the same material, though much smaller.
Is it like staticky charged at all?
Looking at it?
I'm gonna grab.
No.
I'm gonna grab Gwendolyn.
Use your
Just
stat
kinda-
vision.
Lean back a little bit. Just.
Nothing happens.
Well, Godric, with
Remember, he's on the other
I
side
just-
of the cavern.
We're doing it again, aren't
Or
we?
the room.
yeah, I'm just
I reach out
Okay.
and I touch it.
Nothing happens.
Push it.
Nothing happens.
I turn it.
Can't turn it.
Bop it.
Twist it.
Twist it.
I give it the full.
Twist it. Load
Look
it.
at
the full
Shoot
Hasbro.
it. I was just gonna say the full. I was gonna say the full Hasbro.
Aim it. Shoot it.
actually.
And that's fixed in there tightly. There does appear to be some sort of a seam, though. As you kind of are messing with this piece of lyrium, you kind of move some dust and it kind of just falls away, drifts away, and there seems to be some sort of very, very, very minute seam that's running from, like, the crystal would be in the center and it kind of splits and runs all the way to the floor and to the roof.
So
while he's messing with that, you see that whatever it is that's up there kind of shifts and begins kind of like uncoiling a little bit. You can see it kind of like the shades of like pale to light blue and dark blue just kind of shifting as it seems to be just wrapping around or changing direction.
alright. Well, I want to calmly walk the same way they did. I kind of grab Trin.
Yep.
Going with me.
I'm not good.
I'm gonna stay at the entrance for now.
Just got her stomach.
Maybe this is where the chamber will open up to reveal the warrior.
As we're walking past you, I kind of like up towards it,
Hello.
and then
You're probably right, but the question is this.
Bork, bork.
I come up behind you and I put my hand on your back and
What?
Anything?
No, unless this is the stone I'm not worthy.
We're not alone in this room.
What do you mean?
The Behir is, I believe.
Do we want to talk to it?
It's just observing for now.
Then I don't know. At the
Frederick,
end,
I just want to tell you. Description of a warrior that knows themselves and has a purpose.
again, I didn't think it was me.
No,
but
I'm here to tell you it probably is you.
I don't know myself.
That's not true, is it?
I've been going through some things lately.
Well,
First, I can't kill a dragon, and then there's you and your betrayal.
I didn't betray you, man. That's not the point.
Katarina's
Those
looking
things
at the
aren't. Those things.
Once again.
Those things happened to you, but that doesn't change who you are. You're a Goliath, giantkin, destined to slay a dragon and determined to do so.
You hear him just like a little differently than before because he's still kind of unsure about that part at this moment.
You didn't find the right dragon is the only problem.
I still am not sure if we can fight Anpekar.
Well,
You hear that now.
if we're going to fight him, we need whatever secrets this place holds.
It looks like this is a test then.
Maybe it is.
Well,
And I think it's for you.
I'll give
I've
it a
dedicated
shot.
my life to trying to discover who I am. Obviously, I don't know.
That does make sense. I still think the cleric would probably be more about oneself than me.
Possibly, but I don't know him as well as I know you.
I have no doubts about myself. I'm simply not willing to rush into theories half-cocked.
I told you, he know himself.
Well then, it seems that we go across the bridge.
I just think that a test for someone in a dragon slayer's tomb is perfect for a man who's dedicated his life to slaying dragons. And now would be the time to prove that that really is your destiny.
Really convincing. You see Goddard just puff out his chest a little bit.
Just don't forget, you have no idea about your tattoos anymore.
Again, I was saying I'm going through some shit.
Ignorance of your situation is not the same as not knowing who you are.
It is an elven tomb.
Again, feel free to jump across.
Oh, I'm trying to convince myself to.
Is the elven part the important part, or is that this is the tomb of a dragon slayer?
To elves, the elven part is always the important part.
Maybe.
I would agree with you, Locke, but even at this moment, I'm still unsure. By the fact, I still don't know where my father went and where he went, and if I am truly even his son.
We just still things outside of you. You know what you need to do. Those are you. You know what you've done. You know what you want to do, and you know what you have, what you can do.
When did you get this convincing? You've never been this good before.
Because you're my brother, and I've spent years with you.
And you're still willing to almost kill me.
It is true, the more you know someone, the easier they are to manipulate.
I am more than willing to put you in danger because I know that you are more than willing to put yourself in danger. Like I said, I know you.
But it's still different when you do it.
No, it isn't. It wouldn't have changed the result. We can argue this later, but
I just gotta wave my hand
your
at that.
decision.
Fine. And I kind of step around and I walk to the fucking checkerboard. I'm assuming this is the test. And I pop down on the fucking non-dark tile.
Okay.
And I just start hopping to each non-dark tile.
Okay.
Can I see what the Behir on the ceiling is doing?
Yeah. I'm sure you've looked around the chamber enough, and you've eventually noticed it was up there.
Now,
You kind of keyed in. It took you a second, but you looked and really studied it. And you're like, oh yeah, there is something up there. That makes sense.
going along the checkered path, at any point is it reachable to touch the giant thing in the fucking center of the room?
Yeah.
Is that where that's?
You want me to draw you a picture? I got you, man.
So I'm envisioning the checkerboard like this, and it routes in, and I see the crystal here. But is it more along the lines of the checkerboard goes to the crystal?
Check it out, chessboard.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's been walking around the edges like this, right? There's the lyrium crystal.
Oh fuck! All right. Fuck. All right. So Godric
It's a
continues.
circle, but he's right.
So Godric continues hopping between the white fucking non-conducting things and gets to the pillar. He kind of just stands at it for a second. He goes through his own mental problems. Goes through stuff about his dad, his own trauma about his mom, just everything that he's thought about, and really don't have a choice. Fuck it. I reach out and fucking touch the crystal.
It's almost
At least it's not a
confidence.
sphere of annihilation.
That's what I'm feeling better about this. Yeah, I touched one of those. To anyone who's curious, I was like, I'm gonna poke it with my sword.
It's the crystal.
Yeah,
of
I did not know it was a sphere of annihilation.
Yeah,
I poked it.
electrocution in its definition. Like you are electrocuted, as in shocked to death.
But as I'm reaching out to touch it, I kind of go through my own doubts, my own fears, my inadequacies when it comes to fighting a dragon, and failure to keep it around or even save
Why are
people
you
from the breath
focusing on
weapon.
the negatives? I told you not.
And then take a breath, realizing that I still have a goal. I still have a focus. All these other things, finding my father, what my tattoos mean, they take second seat. The important part is I know my goal, my job, is to find and slay Andrakar, and hopefully go home. That's who I am, and that's who my true self is. And I touch it with that just intent in my mind. That's all I got to say.
It's
Have
like
all
it's
this
like,
emotional turmoil
it's
and
like
nothing.
preparing. It's like tensing right before an accident.
I'm fucking tensing
It's like-
so hard.
Yeah, he's
If
like.
this-
Hey, yeah,
If this was American Idol, he'd be like, so as you reach your hand out, we're going to go to break again.
Yeah. As Godric basically lays his hands upon the crystal, the crystal almost begins to make like a harmonizing, reverberating sound. And you can see a bright blue base kind of build at the top, like a bright blue light, as it kind of runs down the crystal and comes down to meet where he's connecting. And it coalesces at the hands as these individual sections where he's touching. And then there's a flash, and Godric just disappears from the chamber.
Oh no!
And everything lights out, aside from the very distinctive electrical crackling and discharge around the Behir that's sitting at the top of the chamber.
Oh no! Godric's dead!
So,
Or it worked and he got teleported to where
Whoa!
No, he's dead!
Body is.
He's never coming back!
Ah, feel bad.
I know.
so Godric,
Yeah.
on the other end of this, you kind of sort of very suddenly appear in an extraordinarily chaotic environment as
Where are those drums coming from?
you're on this massive field in this space with this sweeping open area just rushing out before you. There is all around you chaos as you find yourself standing in the middle of an immense battle taking place on this ancient field. Dragonborn fighting alongside elves and humans and men as they clash with lines of kobolds ahead of you in the distance. Drakes unleash powerful batteries of elemental energy into the lines, killing hundreds and thousands as a massive blue dragon sweeps down the lines, and its lightning breath discharges across the line, killing thousands more. But coming out of the clouds, the distinctive, shining, bright scales of a brass ancient dragon sweeps down from the sunlight, blocking the blue dragon's ability to see. Upon it is a silver-mantled and armored rider, wielding a large lance of some sort. As the ancient blue dragon twists from its breath attack to come upwards to turn, the rider and dragon bear down and slam into this ancient blue dragon, and the lance runs through it and drives it into the ground ahead of you. The impact of which lifts the earth and dirt in a dust storm that pushes across you, sweeping across the battlefield.
Holy shit.
After the dust passes and settles, you find yourself standing face to face with a figure. A lithe, but well-built and athletic elven woman stands in front of you with a lance. And she simply states that, "So the time has come. Takesis once again rises and you find me for assistance.
That is correct.
Until next Friday."
Oh, shit! Oh, God!
Yes.
Why?